Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Gavin Gardner, and I'm here today to tell you why ABGs suck. Okay, before the pulmonologists start freaking out and turning off everybody's vent, let me clarify that a little bit. For most patients in the emergency department, the VBG is perfectly adequate to give us the information that we need. We can get some basic understanding of ventilation with some minor adjustments using the PCO2. It's good at measuring bicarb, and it's also good at measuring pH with some minor adjustments. It's from the venous side, so we can't really use it to assess PO2, but that's why we use it in conjunction with a pulse oximeter. One exception where we might want the ABG instead of the VBG is if we don't trust the pulse oximeter. There are a few reasons for this, but perhaps this is a patient where we suspect methemoglobinemia. Also, the VBG is less accurate in patients who are hypotensive on pressors and patients who are suffering from severe hypoxia. But let's face it, ABGs hurt, and they're associated with certain complications like arterial thrombosis, pseudoaneurysms, and arteriovenous fistulas. And I can guarantee you that we're not all doing an Allen test before we perform an ABG. So, how easy is it to convert your VBG numbers to usable clinical data? I would say that it's as easy as pie. However, have you ever tried to bake a pie? It's not that easy. Nay, I would say that the VBG is even easier than baking a pie. Turning a VBG into useful clinical data is simple as the number 4. Venous blood gas values are all ranges, and those ranges differ slightly whether you obtain the sample from a central venous catheter or a peripheral catheter. But the good news is 4 falls within those ranges, so there's really no reason to memorize any number other than 4. To make our conversion, it's as simple as this. To our venous pH, we simply add 0.04. To our venous PCO2, we simply add 4. For example, if I have a venous pH of 7.21, I simply add 0.04. That gives me an arterial blood gas equivalent of 7.25. I apologize if the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation gives you flashbacks from undergraduate chemistry. It's only here to remind us that the ABG actually calculates bicarb using this formula, whereas the VBG actually measures it from the venous sample. So if a sample is obtained from a central venous catheter, there's no need to adjust the venous bicarb. It will be the same as an arterial sample would be. If the sample is obtained from a peripheral line, the conversion is made by adding 2 to your venous bicarb. You might suggest that 2 is not 4. However, I would remind you that 2 is 4 divided by 2. So, the VBG is a very viable option and potentially a great alternative to the ABG in many clinical scenarios, particularly if you suspect DKA or when you're examining your lab and that unexpected anion gap pops up. The next time someone asks for an ABG, educate them on the value of the VBG and why ABGs suck. I certainly hope that you found this short video useful. It was my pleasure bringing you this educational material.